The greatest shock didn't come from walking up to a building stained with blood and tears, but from the cold and stark weather as snow drifted over the frozen ground. Why did anyone insist on living in a place where the air hurt their face? And where the fuck was the sun? The warehouse loomed in front of us as we left the rich, comforting warmth of the Ferrari. The massive structure might have blended in with the other abandoned commercial properties in the area had it not been surrounded by an eerie feeling of death. Even in a graveyard for buildings, nothing could disguise the ghosts that lurked around Belandi's famed warehouse. I didn't know that I believed in spirits, despite my mother's belief in the afterlife. But even I felt all the tortured souls who clung to this place where they had drawn their final breaths. It certainly didn't help that they'd probably choked on their own blood as they fought for air. An ordinary person might have wondered how Matteo conducted his wet work in such an obvious location without fear of repercussions, too lost in their grand illusions of being safe in their first-world country, where crime couldn't happen to them, and bad things only happened to strangers in the night. Most people were naive enough to believe the police could ever truly be a threat to men like us. Then again, most people were fucking idiots. At my side, Calyx ran a hand through his hair, looking just as aggravated as I imagined he had to feel. While fighting in Matteo Belandi's war was a necessary duty born out of allegiance, nothing could stop the impatience that came with knowing only a ticking clock stood between him and the girl he'd pledged to marry walking down the aisle to another man. His rumpled suit was a stark contrast to the smooth lines of mine. In other circumstances, I might have reprimanded him to remember that people were always watching us and judging any imperfections they found. It was unnecessary to give them any more ammunition to work with. After a long flight, even in the comfort of my jet, and knowing that he was mere hours away from his Talia, I mostly couldn't fault him for it. "You could have at least changed before we got off the plane," I argued, quirking a brow up when he groaned at me in response. "Need I remind you Matteo Belandi is my ally? He needs to be yours. You will be far more directly affected by his friendship than I will, given the proximity of Philadelphia to Chicago. Ibiza is an entire world away."